Family. There's a saying that you only look good with family in pictures. I'm not sure, it might just be a Polish saying, and that's where I'm from. And it's a funny thing, family, because families will support you, will say no matter what, but then they'll be the worst critics without knowing it. They won't be doing anything out of spite, they'll just say things that come to mind, and they don't even realize how important and in fact impactful what they say is on you and on what you're doing. So the best thing to do is to just remove yourself entirely from what they're saying and just ask them, say to them, you know what, I'm doing this is my big dream, and there might be things that I'll ask you about. I might ask about your experience, I might ask what you think about things, but then there might be times where I'll just want you to support me unconditionally, and I would like you to do that. And as sad as it sounds, you sometimes need to orchestrate what people say to you, because it doesn't matter how they say it. Sometimes all that matters is that you've heard someone close to you say something that you really want them to say. And I'm saying this because I've had a couple of close people who were not necessarily as supportive as I would have liked them to be. Now, after exploring this for a while, it turned out they were worried, they weren't as positive as me, and thinking that things can happen, they weren't as open-minded. Now, while I got where I needed to be, where I wanted to be, their eyes started to open and they started to see it. But the difficulty is that until you've succeeded, you feel like your energy is being sucked in by two things. Or even your funnel, where all your energy should be channeled into one thing, into running this business, into setting it up, into seeing how you can find pockets of time to do it. Instead, it's flipped on its head, and your funnel is channeling the energy and spreading it out because you're trying to prove others wrong. And that's not a great thing. So when I had my share of negativity coming towards me from some of my closest ones, I asked and said, there will be times where I'll tell you, please just be supportive and say those things to me. And then there will be times where I'm actually asking you for advice because I would like to know. And asking for advice is very powerful. But having unwanted advice at the time you don't need it could potentially be damaging. So you really want to be having honest conversations with your family. You want to be understanding their fears, but at the same time you want to say to them that this is the list of things I'm banning you to say and this is the list of things I want you to say every time you see me and every time you see me struggle. And that's what separates us from giving up, because these are the hurdles on the way. This is failure. This is when people fail, when they believe in what's said to them and they go, oh, I might as well just give up. And we are not failing. We are taking that. We're taking those, stones, hurdles, whatever you want to call them, and saying, okay, I'll deal with them. It's fine. I've got a way of dealing with them. And that's the way to deal with your closest ones.